millions of people experience the breathtaking vistas of the highest peaks in the Appalachian Mountains along the picturesque Blue Ridge Parkway in North Carolina. However, nestled just beyond Great Smoky Mountains National Park, a hidden gem often escapes the notice of many visitors to western North Carolina. Savvy travelers in the region understand that some of the most splendid views on the Blue Ridge Parkway can be found within the enchanting Plott Balsams of North Carolina. Now, what do one of these mountain subranges and our loyal canine companions share in common? Hey there, my name is Bill Marion, and this is A Nose for Life. This video is a part of a series or YouTube playlist that explores the mountain subranges along the Blue Ridge Parkway in North Carolina. In this video, we delve into the beauty of the Plott Balsams while treating you to the awe-inspiring scenery of the Blue Ridge Mountains, all along America's favorite drive, the Blue Ridge Parkway. If you're a dog lover, you're going to love this video, because as the parkway winds its way along the slopes of the towering Plott Balsam Range, an unexpected connection between these mountains and our four-legged friends unfolds. So make sure to stay with us until the very end. As always, you can find relevant links in the video description. So go ahead and hit the like button, and let's dive right in. The Plott Balsam Range are situated in the counties of Haywood and Jackson. The extensive Plott Balsam Range stretches southwest from the Tuckasegee River Valley in Sylva, North Carolina, to Maggie Valley, North Carolina in the northeast. Altogether, the Plott Balsams include 141 square miles of natural beauty, lush forest, rugged terrain, and scenic vistas. The Plott Balsams contain several prominent peaks, with the highest being Waterrock Knob, which reaches an elevation of 6,292 feet. It offers panoramic views of the surrounding region. Waterrock Knob Visitor Center is at 5,820 feet. It's the highest elevation center along the Blue Ridge Parkway. 5 other summits in the range rise above 6,000 feet. They are a popular destination for outdoor enthusiasts, including hikers and backpackers. There are a variety of hiking trails that vary in difficulty, from easy walks to challenging backcountry hikes. But when hiking, be careful. The area is home to diverse wildlife, including black bears, white-tailed deer, wild turkey, and a variety of bird species. Always have your camera ready when visiting these mountains. You know, sometimes we name things to commemorate great achievements, but with time, the significance can fade and the name loses its meaning. That brings us to the Plott Balsams. Let me break it down. One of the toughest challenges in creating this video and the whole series is ensuring that I'm showing you the right mountain subrange. I mean, these mountains can be confusing. Identifying these mountain subranges along the Blue Ridge Parkway isn't as straightforward as you might think. They're often not clearly marked on maps, and the parkway itself doesn't offer any helpful signs. As I've mentioned in previous videos, even credible sources can provide conflicting information. For instance, some sources don't recognize the Plott Balsams as their own mountain subrange. Instead, they group them with the Great Balsam Mountains, or sometimes even call them the Pisgah Mountains. But during the making of this series, it's become clear that identifying these mountain subranges is a real puzzle. And here's the funny part: everyone seems to consider themselves an expert, and it turns out that this subject can be quite controversial, political, with various interests at play. Believe it or not, some sources use different names for these ranges because there's an ongoing debate about what they should be called. Normally, geologists have the final say in determining where one subrange ends and another begins. And I gotta say, I get a kick out of watching geologists passionately debate in the comments of my Appalachian Mountain videos. But when it comes to these mountain subranges, making geological distinctions isn't very helpful. Generally, mountain subranges along the Blue Ridge Parkway in North Carolina share the same general geological features, even if the topography can vary greatly from one subrange to the next. Okay, I'm more than open to hearing from geologists and geology enthusiasts in the comments, so feel free to challenge my perspective. Now, as for the Plott Balsams, they weren't named based on geological or topographical differences. In this case, the National Park decided to honor a family and their dogs by naming this mountain subrange. Way back in the 1750s, before the United States were united or states, Johannes Plott immigrated from Heidelberg, Germany to Philadelphia with a group of Hanoverian hounds. I hope I'm saying that right. Johannes moved to North Carolina, got married, and bought a farm in these mountains. Now think about it, this is back in the mid to late 1700s. To live here back then, well, you might as well be living on Mars. If Mars had oxygen, water, and never mind, you get the point. Johannes and his wife Margaret began raising Hanoverian hounds, and these hounds became local legends. They were the best at hunting, they were protective, and they were also very loving. In 1780, the hounds were passed to Johannes' son Henry. Now in the early 1800s, Henry and his dogs were often called in to help neighbors to rid them of coyotes, wildcats, and bears. News about the incredible hunting skills of Henry Plott's hounds began to spread. Henry started breeding what we now call Plott hounds. To this day, Plotts are strong and famous for their superior hunting skills. The breed was carefully developed to be tough, audacious, and determined. Plotts were often used as a wild boar hound and for big game hunting. Now, I realize that some of this is lost on our society today, as hunting and hunting dogs are somewhat niche. But for a long time in these mountains, Plott hounds were a big deal. These dogs are incredible, and it's hard to separate Plott hounds from the Plott family. After all, the breeding of these dogs was a family affair for 200 years in these mountains. The U.S. Park Service named 3 peaks in the Balsam Mountain Range as the Plott Balsams and erected a sign along the Blue Ridge Parkway known as the Plott Balsam Overlook, honoring the family. It reads, "Before you lies the massive Plott Balsam Range. On one of its eastern slopes, Henry Plott, a German immigrant son, made his home in the early 1800s. In this game-filled frontier, hunting dogs were a prized possession. Here, Henry Plott and his descendants developed the famous Plott bear hounds, carefully selecting for the qualities of stamina, courage, and alertness the breed possesses today." In 1989, the North Carolina General Assembly honored the Plott hound with the designation of the official state dog. Naming this mountain subrange after the Plott family and their dogs is the National Park Service at their best. Connecting this subrange of the Blue Ridge Parkway to the locals and their achievements, well, it isn't just informative, but inspiring. So the Plott Balsams are named after a breed of dogs and the family who bred them. The Plott Balsam Mountains offer some of the best scenery on the Blue Ridge Parkway, and now you know that these majestic mountains of the east are named after a family and their beloved hounds. And by the way, the Blue Ridge Parkway is pet-friendly. You just have to keep your dog on a leash no longer than 6 feet. There are a lot of hiking trails that are dog-friendly too. I've left links in the description. In the top right corner of your screen is a tab to the playlist I'm creating about these subranges, and there it is again in the top left corner of your screen as well, along with some other videos you'll enjoy. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, subscribe and click the bell for notifications. My name is Bill Marion, and this is A Nose for Life.